Okay, module number 7. So now we're going to talk about quality management. Quality management is a very important topic because if you are an organization, you want to ensure the product or service that you're providing to the public or to your customers is of good quality. So in this module, we're going to be looking at understanding the basic concepts of quality management. We'll be discussing the importance of managing quality for organization success. We'll discuss, differentiate the difference between product quality and service quality. We'll look at that. And of course, we'll discuss the relationship between quality management and strategic direction. How do they align to each other? So, what is quality? When you hear the word quality, what do you think of? Nice, shiny car, an excellent meal, good working relationship, a car that's perfectly manufactured, right? All of those may be good thoughts to come to mind. The difficulty in defining quality exists regardless of the product. And it's true that both manufacturing and service organizations all have something different. They all have a different service or product that they offer a customer. But one thing is true, the customer wants something of a good value, something that is reliable, something that they expect. The meaning of quality has changed over time. Today, there's no one single universal definition. So in essence, quality is relative. For one person, this one product may be good enough. To another person, another customer, it's not good enough. So it's based on the preferences of each individual. It's easy to see how different customers can have different definitions in their mind in terms of quality. One customer, a low price is considered quality. To another person, price is of no concern. They only want the best of the best, handmade or skillfully manufactured, right? So there are different definitions. Here's some definitions. Fit for purpose. Maybe I just see something that works. I receive it at the right time. In that case, it's quality. Because it's what I want, I consider it quality, right? It conforms to certain standards. It meets certain expected standards. And if it does, in that case, in that instance, I will designate it as quality. As I mentioned earlier, it's value for money. The price is excellent. So to me, that's quality. And the last one is both the right time and the right thing, right? So I get it on time and it's exactly what I wanted. And again, depending on the customer, depending on the timing, all these definitions can be considered, a definition of quality, right? So quality in the manufacturing process. Typically, when we think about quality, we think about something that has been made or something that is made. We judge the quality as basically the end result of something that's been created. So defining quality in manufacturing organization is different from services. So when you make a tangible item, how you measure that quality is different than a service that is provided. So we'll look at that in just a moment. Manufacturing organizations produce, again, a tangible product. Something you can see, taste, hold, smell, right? It's something that you can directly measure. Therefore, quality definitions in manufacturing usually focus on tangible product features. A feature, a button, a software, whatever it might be, a flash, a hole, a lace. It's something that you can touch, right? When we talk about a tangible product in manufacturing. Mr. David Garvin, Harvard Business School professor, suggested there are 8 quality dimensions and gave one of the most respected definitions of quality. Let's take a look. So number 1, he said conformance. That's the number one of the ones of quality definitions. Conformance is meeting specifications of the product, usually defined by numeric value. So he's saying that you can put a number on it. You can distinguish quality by a certain degree because it has a number, a numerical value on it. Number 2, performs. It's efficient. There's a return on investment. The product achieves its intended purpose. So it performs. We manufacture a chair. Am I able to sit in the chair? Yes, because the chair holds me up. So number 2, it performs. Number 3, the product, when it is manufactured, it has the capability to perform consistently over time. In essence, it's reliable. I sat in the chair last week, it held me up. I sat in the chair this morning, it held me up. Hopefully, if I sit in the chair tomorrow, it will hold me up. Over time, the chair has been reliable, so to me, it's a quality chair. Number 4, the features. The extras that are included are beyond basic characteristics. So, this chair, for example, it's not a wooden chair, it's not a steel chair, it's a leather chair. I could easily sit in a wooden chair and it would hold me up, but this chair goes far beyond the basic characteristics. It's leather. So to me, very quality chair because of its features, which go beyond. The next one is durability, the degree to which the product withstands stress without failure. I'm overweight. I ate a big lunch today, but yet this chair holds me up. It's durable. It's durable. It can hold up someone who is not as heavy as I am, and it can hold up a guy who is heavy. So it's durable. It's able to withstand the stress. I bet if I stand up in the chair, it'll hold me up as well. Or at least I hope. The next one is serviceability, used to denote the ease of repair. So if I were to rip this chair, would it be difficult to repair? Probably not. We can maybe put a patch over it or sew it. There are some products, if you break them, the ease to repair it is very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. So from that aspect, it may not be worth owning because if it breaks down, the ease to repair it is very, very difficult. But in this case, in the chair example, very, very easy to repair. The next one is aesthetics. Aesthetics deals with the sensory characteristics, the look, the feel, the taste, the smell. When I come up to the leather chair, it smells like leather. I look at it, it's black, it looks like leather. The threading on it, very robust. Even the arms, padded with leather. The bottom of the chair, it's got a silver frame. So when I look at this chair compared to a wooden chair, this is much better. This costs more. In fact, I would pay more for this one because of how it looks compared to a wooden chair. So aesthetically, I can look at it and feel like it's quality. And the last one, what I just mentioned, perceived quality based on the customer's opinion. So everything that I've seen with the chair, it's durable, it's reliable, it's aesthetically pleasing. In my opinion, this is a good quality chair. In fact, when I sit in it, I feel powerful based on my opinion. You see it? Now, to someone else, this is a regular old chair. It's a regular chair. It's not a quality chair to another person. But to me, in my opinion, based on these things, it is. So it goes back to the earlier definition. Quality to each person is different, depending on their perception. Now, quality in service organizations is a little bit different. In fact, it's the reverse. In manufacturing, it's a tangible product. In service organizations, it's a product that's intangible. It's intangible. You can't touch it, you can't smell it, you can't taste it. The complete product cannot be seen or touched. Rather, it is experienced. It is experienced. Examples include delivery of health care. It's not a tangible product. It's an experience that you receive. Number 2, traveling or vacation at a resort. Right? Yeah, you may get a bed, you may get some food, but you remember the what? Experience of the vacation. Right? That's an intangible service. Number 3, learning at a university. You're in this course right now. We're not giving you a tangible product. I mean, you get some books, you get some slides, you get a video, but mainly what you're receiving is an experience, an education, which is sort of intangible, right? The degree is the end result of that, but it's basically something intangible you can't touch, right? Difficulties in defining quality of service, and this is right. I mean, if you can't see it, it's hard to kind of put your finger on it. You know, defining quality in service organization is very, very difficult. Why? Since the service is experience, it's highly based on perception and can be highly subjective. For a product, something tangible, you can see it and you can make a judgment. Because it's experience, it's individualized, it's very, very subjective when you talk about a service, right? Right? So here's some other dimensions of quality dimensions. So this professor mentioned that one of the dimensions is that it's tangible. So the physical appearance of the quality of facility and people, right? It's something you can see and touch. Number two, the service reliability, ability of the service provider to perform dependably in terms of the service. Responsiveness, we're talking now about service quality. Are they responsive in their service, in delivering the service to you? Assurance, do they inspire trust and confidence when you experience the service, when you sign up for the resort? Number five, do they have empathy? This is a big one. Do they demonstrate care and individual attention to the customer? We're talking about service quality or measuring service quality. The next one, availability. Is it at the right time, at the right place? Do they deliver the service at the right time and the right place? If no, you may say, not very good service. Think about when you're in a restaurant. If you have to wait on the bread, wait on the water, you'll get the impression, not so good. Professionalism encompasses the fair and ethical characteristics of a service provider. Are they professional? Do they speak professional, behave professional when you interact with them in a setting? Timeliness, delivery of service within an agreed upon lead time. What about you call your order in? You call an order, place an order. They tell you that the order is going to be there in 1 hour, but it takes them 2 hours. What's your impression? Bad service. Bad service. Completeness, delivery of the order in full. You order something at a restaurant and they bring half of your entree, or they forget your salad, or they forget your ice. It's not a complete order. You start to question whether it's a quality service that you're receiving. Pleasantness, good manners and politeness of the service, whether you're at a car shop getting your tires changed, or whether you're at a restaurant, or whether you're at a hospital. Are those that you interact with, are they pleasant? Or are they rude and kind of rushy and pushy? If they are, you have a bad impression in terms of the service, right? So based off of this, these are ways to kind of measure service quality. So dimensions of quality in manufacturing versus services. So what are the differences? So in manufacturing, we talked about conformance and specifications. In service, we talked about tangible factors around service, is what you experience. Manufacturing, we talked about performance. Service, we talked about consistency. Manufacturing, we talked about reliability. Service, we talked about responsiveness. Manufacturing, we talked about features. In service, we talked about friendliness and courtesy. Manufacturing, we talked about durability. In service, we talked about timeliness and promptness. Manufacturing, we talked about serviceability. How quickly, how easy can I get this chair fixed? In service, we talked about what? Atmosphere. What you experience. That's what you remember. So different. One person has something tangible that they can feel and touch. One person has something that they experience in terms of quality. So let's talk about the cost of quality. The cost of quality. The reason quality has gained such prominence is that organizations have gained an understanding of the high cost of poor quality. When quality is bad, man, it's really bad. Right now, organizations get instant feedback online. Have you heard of something called TripAdvisor? You can put a bad review up about a company, about an experience. Have you heard of Glassdoor? Glassdoor is an online web portal where employees can give feedback about companies. They can give feedback about what it's like to work there, what it's like to interview there. They can give good feedback or they can give bad feedback. Quality, right? So that's why the cost of quality has gone up. Quality affects all aspects of the organization. And dramatic cost implications. If you get a bad reputation, no one wants to visit your hotel. No one wants to visit your restaurant. The most obvious consequence occurs when poor quality creates dissatisfied customers, dissatisfied employees, dissatisfied stakeholders, which will eventually lead to loss of business. No one wants to visit your restaurant. No one wants to come to your hotel. No one wants to work for your company because of bad quality. That's the cost of quality. So let's look at two different aspects. You got quality control costs and you got quality failure costs. Are they the same? No. Quality control costs. This deals with preventative measures. Appraisal costs. It's the cost necessary for achieving high quality. So quality control costs are basically proactive costs. This is money you spend to ensure you have good quality. What's the second one? Quality failure costs. Basically, this is internal failure costs, external failure costs. It's essentially the cost consequence of poor quality. The first one is money you spend to ensure you have quality. The second one is money that it's going to cost you because you had poor quality. The first one ensures high quality. The second one is because you did not have a high quality, right? So that's quality costs and quality failure costs, the difference between those two, right? Both very, very impactful, both very, very important. Prevention costs, costs incurred in the process of preventing poor quality from occurring. They include cost of what? Quality planning. So you want to have a plan in place to ensure that quality is always in place. Product design, process design, from collecting information, designing processes to achieve conformance. You want to make sure the thing is designed correctly, make sure the process to design it is done correctly. Another one, employee training. Are you training your employees on the restaurant, how to make the burgers correctly, how to make sure that the ice cream or the milk is not contaminated. And the last thing is maintaining records, because you want to show and you want to have a paper trail of how things were made, manufactured, cooked, and done, so that you can make sure that everything was done correctly and within according to quality standards. Appraisal cost is the active result of judging the worth or value of something or someone. So appraisal costs are incurred in the process of uncovering defects. So when you start looking, you start assessing, you start evaluating, you start auditing, you're trying to find out if you've got some defects. It's going to cost you money to do that, to dig and to find out. But it's better to know early than to find out later, because once you find out later, it's too late. You've got a customer who's had a bad experience, and again, that can be a ripple effect in terms of a bad impression on your organization. So these costs go into. It's better to spend the money early to find out if you have a defect than to realize it too late. So appraisal costs includes quality inspection. Any of you have in quality inspections at your organization? Product testing. So you do a lot of testing, maybe before you put it out to market. Or a manager in a restaurant may come around and just take some of the fries to see if they're quality, to see if they're hot. Performing audits. This is what I just mentioned. Surprise audits, planned audits. What are you trying to do there? You're trying to check the process to make sure if they're following the process and doing it the same way each and every time. Worker spent time measuring quality. So you have one person. Most organizations have a quality control department, a quality assurance department. Their whole job is dedicated to ensuring that the organization has quality. And then the last one, equipment used for quality appraisal. You may have tools, you may have machines, you may have whatever it might be to measure the quality, especially if you've got a manufacturing, if you're producing something that's going to be consumed by the public or something in the medical field. You want to have machines to appraise and test the quality according to the standards. Internal failure cost. Well, internal failure cost, this is associated with discovering that poor quality before the product reached the customer site. So in this case, it's a huge plus. You discovered that the quality was bad before the customer got a chance to taste it, to use it, to experience it, right? It costs you something because you have to do what now? You've got to rework it. You've got to redo it. You've got to correct the defective item, right? Number two, now you've got scrap. What if you manufactured 1,000 of these pieces only to find out that the quality was bad? It's true enough, it never reached the customer, Mumtaz. But now you've got 1,000 pieces that you can't do anything with. Wasted money, wasted resources, wasted time. So internal cost of quality. This is why you do those audits. This is why you do those quality checks. To check it before you manufacture or produce it, and certainly check it before it goes out to your customer, right? But again, these are costs. The good news, it didn't go to the customer. The bad news, that you got to rework it, and you've got some wasted time, you've got some wasted resources, right? Other types of internal failures include cost of machine downtime due to failures in the process. Maybe the machine was broken, right? You got to buy a new machine. You got to pay for the machine to be repaired. Other things, you may have to discount defective items. Have you ever bought, you went to a store and you bought a shirt where the sleeve was too long? Or you bought a shirt where the logo was turned upside down? Perfect shirt, but the logo was turned upside down. What happened there? It was manufactured wrong. The company, though, didn't want to throw it away. They sold it for a discount, but they didn't get their full margin. So these are internal cost failures due to the costs, right? External, this is the big one. External quality failures. Well, this is associated with quality problems that occur at the customer site. So you didn't catch it in time. Now it reached to the customer, and it is particularly damaging because the customer's faith in you is diminished. And loyalty can be difficult to regain because of it. Right, here's some examples of external failure include customer complaints. Customer complains because they've experienced it and it's bad. The product returns. They'll send it back to whatever store. They'll take it to the customer service department very upset because what they bought is not what they expected, because it wasn't durable, reliable, and it didn't conform. Or you have to repair it, take it back to the shop. The car mechanic has to fix it again because he didn't fix it right the first time. Also, warranty claims. Have you heard of recalls? I think every year one of the car manufacturers has to do a recall. Recall for a seatbelt, recall for some brakes. That costs them money, and it also reduces the trust from the public because people start thinking, do I want to buy that car? They had a big recall last year. Recalls is what I just mentioned. The company may not only fix one piece of the car, they may tell you, ship the car back. I think a big manufacturer in the Far East had a huge recall on some of their vehicles. Ooh, here's a big one, litigation costs. What if you sold your product, it was defective and someone got really, really hurt? Now your name is in the newspaper and you're in court. Litigation costs. And the last one is lost sales and lost customers. Once your customers lose trust and confidence in your product or in your name, they're not going to come back to you. So these are external failures. Internal failures are those that you catch at your site. External failures are those that the customer experience, and they don't want to deal with you. Here are some very, very bad examples. I didn't want to mention names, but Bluebell ice cream in I think this happened in Texas. I know in Texas, where I'm from, some bacteria was found in the Bluebell. So they went through a lot of different processes to fix it. First, they cleaned all the equipment. Then they replaced all the equipment. Contamination still kept coming, still kept occurring. What they eventually had to do was tear down the entire plant. Tear down everything. Replace everything. From the parking lot to every piece of equipment. Because why? Bacteria. And they lost a lot of sales. Also, Toyota, I'm sure you've heard about Toyota. They had some issues a while ago, a big recall due to problematic acceleration systems, which meant you drive the car and it would start speeding up and you couldn't slow it down. I think one customer went to jail. What happened? He was driving his car. The car accelerated. He ran into someone and the person lost their life. The police arrested him and says, no, you were doing dangerous driving. And he tried to explain, no, it wasn't me, it was the car. The gentleman went to jail, was in jail for maybe 5 to 6 years. Then this recall happened. It was all in the news. And this guy was like, I told you. They let him out of jail because it really wasn't his fault. So this really hit the company. Big issues. They lost a lot of confidence. And then the other one, this airline experienced a crash, many fatalities, and now, they lost the confidence. People are second guessing whether they want to fly with this airline or not. So these are extreme examples. All these companies have made, I'm sure, big efforts to correct the issues in the past, but big issues that have caused the public to sort of question if they want to work with them. External failures in the service business. External failures costs tend to be particularly high for service organizations. So it's, last bag has arrived. Maybe you're on the airplane and your bag didn't show back up. Maybe you book a flight only to find out that the flight has been oversold and you can't get on the flight and it ruins your entire vacation. Lost luggage. These are service failures that the customer remembers and they don't want to fly with you again. Early defect detection. So this is an excellent way to ensure that your customers don't experience negative impact because of poor quality. So companies consider quality important and they invest heavily in prevention. Appraisal costs. They try to do this work early to catch any issues. Early defects are found and less costly than if you find them at the customer site. For example, detecting and correcting defects during product design and production is considerably less expensive than defects found at the customer site. Because once it gets to the customer site, they lose confidence. So it's good to catch those defects early. So companies are putting a lot of money in at the beginning to catch those defects. Quality management and strategic direction. How do they go together? Organizations must define a strategic direction that can be seen as the company's roadmap. The strategic direction the organization knows is what are its objectives, how they can be accomplished, what resources are required, and how organizations must work together. Organizations must also ensure that they don't do all this work to set the direction, to set the good pricing, to understand who they're selling to look at the entire market and to figure out how they're going to beat their competitors only to deliver a poor product that the customer ultimately receives and is upset because the quality wasn't there, right? So the latest version of ISO 9000 2015 standards stipulates that every organization must have a QMS system, a quality management system that needs to understand and align with its strategic direction. So they've got to be mapped together. An organization just can't talk about pricing and what is it going to sell and its vision, its mission. It must also have a quality management system tied to it, because this confirms the quality. And there must be checks. A part of the QMS, the quality management system, talks about checks. This model that we used, when the auditors come and do the check, they're using this. PD, the Deming cycle, they're using this to do some assessments to make sure that that's a good quality within the organization. Quality objectives are intended to be target statement that are used for continual improvement. Without an overall vision, the organization will have problems in demonstrating the quality policy. I've seen companies, when you walk into the organization, they have a framed declaration of its quality assurance policy. So they have a vision, a mission, and they also have a quality assurance objective and policy. This is part of setting the strategic direction, right? Starting with defining the vision is one of the one more way to ensure the QMS is providing the best return on investment, right? So your stakeholders want to ensure and know that you have a good quality management policy. Good. So in this module, we've looked at the basic concepts of quality management. Very, very good one. We understood the importance of managing quality for your organizational success. Biggest one, we understood the difference between product quality and service quality. Remember, product, something manufactured, something that's tangible, and service is something that we experience. And we understood the relationship between quality management and strategic management. So with that, this concludes module number 7, in which we talked about quality management and the importance of it in relation to strategic management.